So let's talk stimulus. Now, or actually more properly named for 2023, relief checks. Because I get dozens of messages every single day, whether it's in email or in a comment on one of the videos, asking about the probability of getting a stimulus check in 2023. So let's address that because there's more relief payments coming very soon. First, we need to understand why a stimulus check or a relief check would even be sent to the American people. Okay? A check would only be sent in the event that we are experiencing difficult times. That's it. And to be clear, a check from the federal level will not happen. I am talking about relief checks at the county or the state level. That's possible. But a stimulus or a relief check from the federal level, that's not going to happen. Okay? Let's just put that aside for now because that is not going to happen. But what is the probability of another relief check coming for the American people? Well, depending on the state, it could be very high. For example, remember those up to $1,050 relief checks for Californians? Well, this was all to help with the rise in costs. Or what about those $450 relief checks to Mainers? Right? These were going out to people in Maine, right? Residents of Maine, and they were dubbing them the heating relief checks. That's what they called them. Again, it's a form of economic relief to residents in the state of Maine, right? For what the governor saw, is what the residents needed. Or what about Governor Ed Lamont from Connecticut? He is proposing using $20 million to provide medical debt relief to his residents because he says that too many residents have medical debt. And according to reports, there will be about 385,000 people that would get some of this relief. His administration says that a $20 million investment could potentially have the effects of $20 billion in medical debt. That is what he's saying. He also stated that this would not create a taxable event for residents with medical debt canceled, which is a very good thing because most people don't know this, but when you see a debt forgiven or canceled, that debt amount is then pushed over to you as income, which you would have to report to the IRS and you would have to pay taxes on it. But the good news here, you would not have to pay this because this would not be a taxable event. Now, you think that's it? You think those are the only states that were sending out relief? Well, here's some more relief for you. Something new that happened in Washington State just recently, there is a new thing called the Working Family Tax Credit. Now, this tax credit would give working families with children, up to $1,200 per year. Here's the difference. Unlike the federal stimulus checks, which only went out one time, well, technically 3 times, but there was 3 different events. Unlike those, this working family tax credit, this would be an ongoing program. It wouldn't end after this one-time occurrence. It would be a yearly thing. So if you have 3 qualifying children and you make less than $59,187 in a year if you are married, then you would get up to $1,200 as a relief payment. Now, these are just 4 different examples of relief payments that are going out to the American people. And there's many more that are being thought of at this time. Many more have gone out throughout the past year, and we will see more in the near future. I know there's more governors talking about relief checks. I've even discussed some of those here on this channel. But to answer your question, what is the probability of a stimulus check coming in 2023? Well, it is very close to 0% from the federal level. I'm not going to say it's 0, that it will never happen, but it's highly unlikely. Now, things could ultimately flip, and we could go backwards in this pandemic, and if that's the case, then maybe we see some additional relief, but at this time, I just don't see it happening. But, depending on the state that you reside in, this could be higher or potentially lower. It just depends on the state. Now, I do want to be very clear on one thing, and I want to end with one very important note, which is the January jobs report that we just got this week. Well, this is good for millions and millions of people. This is good for those 517,000 people that are now working. But this also puts into question any additional relief checks in the short term. And I say this because my guess is, and again, this I could be wrong, but whenever I've talked about this in the past, I'm usually pretty close to being right. Normally what happens is if we are seeing this time of uncertainty, which I believe right now is a huge uncertain time, but if we're seeing this now, guess what? States are not going to be sending off billions of dollars in stimulus and relief checks. No, they're going to wait. They're going to wait and see the trajectory of their economy before they decide to dole out any additional funds. And this is why the probability for some states is going to be higher of getting a relief check in 2023 than others, because some states are going to bounce back very quickly, and the state is going to realize we don't need to give our residents any additional funding. They're perfectly fine. We'll just hold on to this and we'll use it somewhere else. Whether that's truth or not, that's what states are thinking. And then you got other states that are struggling. Their residents are struggling. Their unemployment rate is going up, not down. We saw our unemployment rate go to 3.4%. Lowest it's been in like 53 years, right? That's great. But at the same time, for those that are hoping for a relief check, this puts those in doubt. If you're seeing your unemployment rate go down, if you're seeing your wages go up, especially if inflation is going back down, that's good news, okay? So just keep in mind, there is a possibility of getting relief checks here in the near future, but it depends on your county and your state. They will not be coming from the federal level, especially at this time when we're trying to deal with a debt ceiling crisis, all right? So if you have any questions whatsoever regarding relief checks or any possible stimulus, please ask your questions down in the comment section below. Again, thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.